Hey, Scott here, the Poor Prepper. Today I'm going to talk about what happened and what I would like to see happen. You know, think back. On December 31st, China said, well, "Hey, we have a virus and it's bad." And even then they didn't want to admit that it would go from human to human. Now, scientists now are saying, "Oh, no, 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 no. It started way back in early November. That's the only way it could get to the point it was at in China at the end of December." So China lied to us so many times right off the bat. Now we have a situation where 60 minutes in Australia, I couldn't think of the word Australia, the name Australia. Wow. I don't know why, because I love the place. I've been there. Awesome. Everybody go visit Australia. It's a great place to visit. But 60 Minutes there did a thing about how it may have been started in a research lab. Now, if you've watched my videos, one of my earlier videos, I don't remember which one, I actually asked point blank, hey, all these sicknesses that, start in China, are these created in a lab? I didn't want to seem like a conspiracy theorist, because I hate conspiracy theories, including the movie. But you know what? Coincidence takes a great deal of preparation. So now I'm wondering, is China responsible for it? Guess what? If it started from a Chinese lab and they're just trying to slowly create a virus that's going to, incapacitate America so they can take over, yeah, I would not be surprised. They're a communist country. They're not good people. The people in China, they're good people. The leadership in China, they're evil. And when they die and they stand before God, they're going to rot in hell for eternity. Well, not eternity. I don't believe anybody rots in hell for eternity. You do a term of punishment. Now, what does China want? You can look at their own writings, the government writings. They want to take over the entire planet. What are they doing? Well, in addition to hacking us and supplying everything we could possibly want or need in America, they're slowly taking over. Now, right now, China, since they created this virus, I honestly believe it was not some happenstance, one schmuck ate a diseased bat or something like that, and all of a sudden, it's all over the planet. No. No. I believe it was created in a lab, released into the public, and there it goes. There it went. Now, ultimately, what is going to happen? China has now, even if it was the schmuck who ate the diseased bat, and here we are now, China could have told the truth. They're responsible for where we are now. If they had told the truth back in November, we would not be in this situation in America we're in. But, you know what? If wishes were fishes, we'd all be casting lines. Now, what are we going to do about it? Well, first and foremost, honestly, China needs to be kicked out of the G8. No more. Call it the G7. Call it the G1 if we have to. China, gone. Second, America needs to pass a law. All items that are in the medical industry, I'm talking gloves, shoes, the covers for their shoes, the little booties they put over their shoes, the scrubs, the masks, the hats, the drugs, the beds, everything, anything you see in a hospital must be made in America. Yes, it will be more expensive, but then there's two good points here. Americans are being employed to create these things, and two, nobody can ever again disrupt our supply chain. What happened when the poop hit the fan? We had freighters coming over from China full of product, and China turned them around. That was product we needed. Now, all of a sudden, in the last week or so, China has threatened, hey, maybe we're going to stop sending you prescription drugs. Isn't it time we, kicked China out of our medical industry? They can actually control us. We are at the mercy of China. We should be at the mercy of nobody. But we are at the mercy of China. Even if we go to make everything that for the medical field in America, it would still take a year to get everything up to speed and going. For the next year, we're screwed. If China does decide to send us no more prescription drugs, how many people are going to die? How many millions of Americans would die? That's the bad thought. That's why we need to get every last bit of manufacturing for the medical industry back here in America. The Congress needs to pass a law. The president needs to sign it saying anything for the medical industry must be made in America. Not Mexico, not Canada, definitely not China. In America. That, I'm wondering how many of our military uniforms, parts, and stuff like that are made in China. If they decided to stop sending those things over, how soon would it be before our military ground to a halt? I don't know. We could make everything in America. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure all of our uniforms are made in China. Next, what are we going to do? Right now, China and their flu has killed more Americans than the Japanese did at Pearl Harbor back in 1941. December 7th, 1941, a day which will live in infamy. You know what? Choose a day for when this started. I would say December 31st of last year, because that's when China finally admitted it. That's another day that will live in infamy. We need to punish China for what they've done. Right now, they've killed 3,700 Americans, and the media is going, oh, more Americans have died than in China. Really? Looking at how many Americans have died, you're going to say only this many Chinese died? Really? That is the most dishonest, I'm cleaning this up as I go, the most dishonest thing I've ever heard the media say. Guess what? China had a lot more than 3,000 deaths. I'm willing to bet they had 300,000 to 3 million people kick the bucket. And they're not going to admit it. Why? They're a communist country. It doesn't matter what the average person wants or thinks or needs or desires. It's what the government wants, needs, and desires. The Chinese government is going to save face and not look weak. Now, like I said, we should ban all... No, I didn't say that yet, but I'm going to say it right now. One way to put China in its place and ultimately get rid of the communist regime there and let them become free, ban all items made in China from ever entering America. If it's made in China, it can never enter America. You know what happens then? China will go into a depression, they will have a revolution, and the people of China can become free. It will be bloody, and probably 100, 200, 300 million of them will die, but they would have their freedom. Just like the Soviet Union fell, the Chinese Communist government can fall. And we, the American people, can help facilitate it. Ban everything made in China from ever entering America, period. You know what's going to happen? A lot of supply chains will go to places like Malaysia, Vietnam, stuff like that. Then we also have to have another law that says, well, Chinese companies, people, whatever, if you're going to buy like a portion of this company over here, more than 1% of that company cannot import anything into America. Nothing made by that company can come into America. We need to isolate China, teach them a lesson, allow their people to become free. Because in a free society, China would have let everybody in the world know what's going on way back in November instead of December 31st. Instead, we had a whole, now we got 3,700 Americans dead. Next subject. Dr. I. Fen, AI space F-E-N. She was a Chinese doctor. She actually is the one who spilled the beans and told the world what's going on. Does anybody know where she is? She's gone. The Chinese government is communist, so when you speak out against the government, you disappear forever. She is probably right now in a 6 feet underground somewhere, and nobody will ever know where she is. She's gone. To the people in America who want to support China, what in the hell are you supporting a government that would do that to a doctor that lets the world know that there's an epidemic? What's wrong with you people? The World Health Organization is a terrible thing. Why do I say that? There are people in Taiwan dying, and the leader of the WHO will not even say the word name Taiwan because he doesn't want to make his Chinese masters angry. Right now, China is at the point where they're controlling speech in America. If we let them get away with that, the next thing they're going to do is control all of our politics, and then they're going to control the people of America. How many people in America want to be Chinese? Under a Chinese communist government? You better ask yourself, because that's where we're going. When the World Health Organization refuses to even acknowledge Taiwan, let those people in Taiwan die. Oh, no, I'm not going to say Taiwan. Let those people on that island die. That's how the WHO is. Why are we giving money to the WHO? Why is America giving them money? There are so many government, excuse me, not government, there are so many international organizations that kowtow and bow to the Chinese government that America funds. Why are we doing that? We're $25 trillion in debt. Why in the hell are we doing that? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this video, spread it around. Hopefully our politicians will do something, and by 2030, China could be free. The same way Russia is free. Now, Russia decided to elect a dictator, basically. That's on them. They had their freedom when they escaped the Soviet Union, and they decided to go for the strongman. We can't do much about that. You know, it's their choice. And people have to live with their choices, or entire countries. Ladies and gentlemen, let's spread this video around. Let's get our politicians working on it. Let's kick China out of the American economy. We don't need them. Anything made in anything that's used in America can be made in America. The only reason it's not is our greedy corporations. I am willing to pay more for shirts, for shoes, for anything I buy, as long as it's made in America. I'm willing to pay more. I will do my part. What about you, and what about the politicians? Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a good day. If you got any questions, it's poorprepper13@gmail.com. Thank you.